Greetings, user. Neural link established. Ready for takeoff.
Welcome everyone to the OSU Matrix World Cup 2021. My name is Dino. To my side, I have the red commentator, Davy. And to the other side, I have the blue commentator, Walter. Who are you gonna pick? This is a very important decision as we start with a recap of the tournament.
Yes.
Because we don't have much time, I will go straight to my side and go with Davy.
Yes, we'll be having a Kita recap, as it's now called. I think that it suits better. But yeah, welcome everyone to the very final stretch of the Mania 4K World Cup 2021. Before we get into the very final matchup, we'll be having our regularly scheduled talk show where we talk about MWC this year and how it has been going. I am Davey, joined here by Juan Cristal and Walter Toro.
Hello.
Hello there. Actually, it's pretty amazing that we have this. The second time that we actually do this. We did this last year before the Japan versus Brazil grand finals, and now we have Brazil again, but with another country here. We have the actual classic match of Brazil versus United States for grand finals. We will see what who of the two will be our 2021 MWC Grand Champion.
Pretty interesting tournament we had this year, I'll say that much. No surprise to see Brazil once again on top, I think. Well, not necessarily win the whole thing, but just being there on the grand final, the last stretch of the tournament. They have been used to that, I think. This last couple of years, they have been improving since 2015, which they got eliminated early on. And since then, they have just been skyrocketing high and placing top 3 every single year since then. And they finally got their champion title last year, and they want to defend it this year. They have a very strong opponent on the other side, however, the United States. And as much as you have these two teams in the top 3 for so long, this is actually the first time they will actually be facing each other on the grand final.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that they have been matching each other in different stages. Like they faced it on semifinals, on finals, for the third place. On multiple times, there also were like tiebreakers. On 2017, there was a tiebreaker. On 2018, there was also a tiebreaker, both with infected mushroom. It's actually interesting. Yeah. And we actually expect to see once more a tiebreaker here with this actually amazing custom sound that we have for this year. But it's something that is on the hands of the United States right now. They need to be Brazil wants to be, and even they need to be Brazil twice if they want to be a champion for this year. So we will see if they actually have the power and the stamina to actually go along these two matches, because the map was actually pretty hard to handle.
You think we'll be seeing a bracket reset, is what you're saying?
Yeah. It depends. We will see of how US will actually handle this map.
Well, I mean, if we go through all the results, Brazil kind of crushed the United States on the winners bracket final. But did you watch the match between USA and Malaysia that we just had like yesterday or like earlier today? US looking kind of scary. So perhaps we'll see some more action.
Maybe that will be a bit closer. I heard that United States was performing a bit weaker during the last matchup. I'm not sure why, but they were just simply a bit weaker. Because of that, Brazil just crushed. They really don't, take any chances. They're just going to mow you down if you're even if you show the slightest weakness. They're just that powerful this time around. It's been pretty amazing to witness how Brazil has been becoming such a powerhouse. It's like almost no competition, really.
Yeah, probably you can look at both of the roles of both of the teams, and you can see that they actually have some pretty dominant matches with most of the teams. Probably there might be a little mishap there, but the scores from both these teams they were actually pretty interesting. So probably you can start looking at some of the matches that happened during the tournament.
And yeah, overall, I'd say that just starting from the beginning, we had qualifiers this time around for the 4K NWC 2021, which is different from the manual seeding we had last time, where kind of some people went into the teams and like decided a rough seeding, not really based on their current performance, I guess. So has it been successful with qualifier seeding this time around? Why or why not?
Oh, I think qualifier seeding this year was pretty accurate, honestly. I was really surprised. You saw the quarterfinals. You had 8 teams on the upper bracket, right? On the winners bracket. And those 8 teams were the 8 best seeded teams. That's not something that happens often. Like with group stage, you can have this insane matchups on quarterfinals, but they could also happen on an upset in round 16 very easily. And those upsets do happen. The accuracy requirement makes it so that some teams just are that close in terms of accuracy. And some high seeds could take over the top spot of the group. And in this year particularly, I think the qualifiers did a great job at measuring the players, like the team's skill overall, but not only because they were like very well spread out and it tested a different skill set, but also round 32 didn't really feel all that much easier than the qualifiers. Neither did the quarterfinals felt that much harder. So I felt there wasn't that much of a gap of difficulty between the earlier stages of the tournament, and that's probably the main reason why the top seeded teams were seeded correctly, because they had this upper hand on their matches throughout the harder stages of the tournament. And on the harder stages of the tournament, they had the scores to compete. This last stage 8 and stage 5 provided enough buffer for those top teams to be there on this final matches, on the quarterfinals. I think in the semifinals as well, we had the top 4 on the bracket, in the upper side of the bracket. So the only real upset on the winner bracket that happened ever was Brazil beating the United Kingdom and the United States. Other than that, all the matches were literally as expected on the winners bracket.
Yeah, there were like not that many upsets on the winners bracket. On the losers bracket, there were some upsets, especially because we had very close matches between teams. Like probably like those teams that were like one seed ahead, like one over another. So in those cases, we actually had some very interesting matches. And for the rest of the seeds, it was actually like mostly working as expected. But even like that, it was actually surprising to see some teams that were actually very high placed on the series. Like, for example, Vietnam, United Kingdom. You saw surprises like Japan that was like 13th seed, even if they were like the second place of last year's tournament. So yeah, it's actually like pretty interesting to see some of the results of the qualifiers and how those move into the rest of the bracket stages. I think it's very much a win for everyone, both on the tournament side and how the tournament progresses, because sometimes like there were like a part of the bracket that was like extremely like packed with teams. Like you saw like United States with Brazil, with South Korea on the same part of the bracket, and the other part of the bracket was like kind of easier. But this time it wasn't the case. Like we saw all the best teams on going alongside the bracket, and now we have these two teams that are actually pretty monsters, even if Brazil is actually going with its number 3 here. But yeah, both these two teams are actually pretty insane on their capabilities.
There are a couple of close matches we've seen, but also because of the seeding being pretty accurate, it's also meant that, for example, quarterfinals was not really all that close. We saw a lot of sweeps, and semifinals too, because the discrepancy between who's facing who is big enough that those higher seeding teams just takes the cake easily. So that was something that happens when you have this kind of seeding. Otherwise, yeah, it's been pretty dang good in order to ensure that the stronger teams are at the correct, bracket or whatever. The only real surprise would have been United Kingdom there because they were at place number 2, and then they kind of fell off on the finals because of the pools just becoming so much harder that they can't really keep up. But they still made some very strong and close performances, like United Kingdom versus Vietnam. I forgot who was the winner there. Actually, was it?
Yeah, UK won that on the tiebreaker on Purple Palace. It was pretty close. They were 6-3 down though. That's why you probably didn't recall who was the winner, because I remember it was 5-3 in favor of Vietnam, and UK had the pick, and they picked the SB map. They picked Mafane against them, and they lose it. So they are like match point down, and they just win 4 points in a row to qualify to the top 4 spot. That was very, very close.
That was exciting to watch. I think I commentated that. It was like the reverse sweep, the dream. It's kind of reverse sweep, not entirely. I don't think it's really rare for us to see like a complete reverse sweep. Someone is up 6 points and then the other team just takes 7 points.
In Mania specifically, it's even harder to do because this is it's a game mode that you have so polarized skill sets in general that you either win everything and you sweep, or you're just gonna lose some of them. Like there is no chance for you to lose 6 picks in a row and then have 6 other picks that you can win. In general, just strategy results around winning 8 out of 12 picks available, best case scenario. So you don't really have the enough ammunition to take down the other team if you're 6 points down, because you already lost some of yours.
Yeah, most of those happen on other game modes when you can actually come back on WC happen.
I think catch is the most normal to have this reverse sweeps out of all game modes. It's not
you also got
frequent at all. It's not a maybe
sometimes.
I'm not sure. I think catch is the closest.
Yeah, but
catch definitely is. Standard is like also one of those kind of modes because it relies a lot on misses rather than just pure accuracy. So you have a lot of teams just being unlucky and then they just take it all the way back. But it doesn't happen as much because you'll notice when there's a better team performing. It's kind of hard to explain. But Standard is pretty chaotic in a sense. So you guys got any favorite or memorable moments this MWC? I'd say that one of those moments that really struck out to me was Japan versus Spain, round of 32, where there was a 16-point win difference on the words I never said in the DNB. It was it was overall a really close match, and the scoring didn't really do it justice as to how close it really was. And then it just, at the very last moment, just flickered back and forth, and in the end it was decided by 16 points, which is very, very uncommon in Mania.
It happens, but I will say that it was a pretty interesting match to see because we have Japan with Kryuke that actually is a monster on SBs, but on the other side we have Spain that were pretty surprising as an SB team. It was like they got second place on the SB qualifier, and they were actually pretty scared overall on their matches with the SBs. Like Kryuke fanboy, being known as Summit, Aitor, community, they did the job on the SB department, and they actually were pretty close on maps like Disconnected, Hyper, and Rings. Like that 52, I think it was 52 points on Rings. Like it was probably decided by the 200 that Aitor got. So it was pretty interesting to see that the team that got second place last year was almost going to tiebreaker in the round of 32, and actually like it will show a pattern for the rest of the Japanese matches. Like if they had 2 tiebreakers with Malaysia, they had another close match with China. Actually, like this Japanese team without the Interizer actually needed to do the work to reach the point that they got into the tournament. So I'm pretty surprised of the performance, but I am very surprised of the overall performance of the Japanese team. They actually did
Yeah,
pretty well. I remember like the 2019 tournament. They actually like when they won ours, if I recall correctly, when QK had that amazing moment when QK was pretty like at the verge of tears when they won that tiebreaker. But yeah, I think this probably if we see this team with Interlice in the future, or if we see another Japanese team, they will have probably some difficult moments like this one. But I think every single match of Japan is probably something to must see, especially on how the picks and the points develop.
I agree.
Japan has been very polarizing in terms of skill set. They're extremely strong on the Rise and SV, but at the rest they're kind of faltering, which is why we saw such close matchup between Malaysia, because they're like Japan, except the opposite. You got really strong LN players on the Malaysian side, such as Shiwi, who is one of, if not the best LN player that exists currently, especially in 4K, just being able to hack almost any LN map. We had, Malaysia versus Japan go against each other 2 times in round of 16 and the finals, and it was always decided by a tiebreaker, which just goes to show both how exciting those matches can be, just because they're so polarized in terms of skill set. So that was definitely something really exciting about this NWC, and watching Japan be really strong even without Interlizer.
Yeah, and it's something that happens very often to Japan. It's like the example of a team that it's extremely good at just a single thing, or maybe 2. They are really good at Swedes nowadays. That's a given, and that always makes up for interesting matches, because the team who wins the Rise will always drag the match down as far as they can with just Rise. And this year particularly, I think Japan managed to take a lot of breakpoints and long notes against very competent teams, and that's a big surprise and a very good point for them in the future. Like if Intel decides to come back, I think Japan has a very real chance of being up there, maybe even winning the whole thing. Absolutely. And I'm not saying they cannot do it with the team they have right now. They're just missing a little bit of punch in the LN department that Intel can definitely provide. But it's not just Japan. Like we talk a lot about Japan, how they were the surprise of the tournament, but we can also talk about these other surprises we had. Like we said before, Vietnam being number 5 seed. That was a huge shock to everyone when the seeds were revealed. Everyone was like, wait, where's Vietnam? We're getting high, and there's no Vietnam yet. What's happening? Did they just miss that team for some reason? No, they were number 5, and they did get the top 6 this year. So very, very solid performance by them. And not just Vietnam, we also talked about Spain, which were very surprisingly good as well this year. And Indonesia, I think, is an outlier that not much people talks about. But they were, at least to me, the biggest surprise after Vietnam being seed number 5. They proved us wrong after time. Vietnam did really, really well. But I don't think anyone was expecting Indonesia to just outplay so many good teams, like Chile, for example. I was never expecting that match being in favor of Indonesia.
Mm-hmm. On the flip side of things, we have teams that are like on the decline. We have, for example, South Korea, who I don't remember their placing last time.
They got 4th last year,
2020.
So they were missing the podium too.
Yeah, now I think they've just fell in the semifinals against Japan, but then again, that match was really, really close. It was another one of those matches between Japan that really just shows how strong Japan is on one particular or two particular things. And we also had hold on, what other teams did we have?
You mean for
I'd say
declines
that-
in general? Or like...
Yeah, for declines, kind
I
of.
don't think we had many declines. Like we said, this year the seedings were
Yeah.
pretty accurate, so we didn't really see that many upsets. I would say maybe I was personally expecting a little bit more from Chile, but I knew they were starting to run out of steam as the stages got a little bit trickier. I wouldn't say they underperformed that much. I'm just very surprised that Indonesia managed to take them down in a stage I was not expecting that to happen. And other than that, maybe we could make an argument for the United Kingdom, which got like seed number 2, and they struggled to beat Vietnam. Then they got defeated by Malaysia. They didn't really put that much of a fight against Brazil. But still, like, Brazil is a team that nobody can really compete one-on-one for the most part, in general at the very least. And Malaysia and Vietnam were both really strong teams too. So they didn't really got an upset that was big enough for it to consider a decline, I think.
To be fair, on Malaysia, I think on United Kingdom, I think they did actually pretty well overall, but probably it was mostly decided on the match with Malaysia in that case, because with those breakpoints, probably like United Kingdom wasn't like, didn't have other picks to actually to break points from Malaysia that was like very strong on the lens. So probably some of the hybrids they could have got a point, but with those breakpoints out of the way, I think there was like little chances for the United Kingdom to actually like make that match. They actually did pretty good with Vietnam actually, but on the matches before that, but probably was mostly decided on the match with Malaysia. But actually they did pretty okay. It was unexpected for United Kingdom team that were like mostly members of the Flash Revolution, like the A team. Like, I know they were actually very, very, very capable to do high scores on Rise. On the lens, they were actually very capable. They have team also that played a lot of the SB maps. So it was a pretty surprising team that they were this close to the podium from in many years, and it was actually surprising to make seed number 2 and actually got 4th place overall on the tournament. So I think it depends probably on what happens on the next year, but it will be a thing to see depending on if they maintain the same roster.
Yeah, the thing about the United Kingdom is they do falter a bit in the harder maps, the faster maps, the denser maps. They did struggle a bit, even on the Rise, which is their strong suit, because it just becomes so much faster. But speaking of maps, are there any thoughts about map pool selection? How has that changed over the years? How is the current structure? Is it doing its job well?
I need to say that this is the 3rd year that this probably like main map holding team on MWC has done things. I think we learned from the mistakes that we did from 2019 and 2020, and thanks to April, thanks to the help of every helper, and I think also because of other tournaments doing this shift in picking like maps and actually like creating maps specifically for certain skills like jacks or streams or things that probably was like more like shown on top 5 actually helped a lot on some of the picks and some of the things here. I think I will think that most of the picks were okay. Probably we did some mistakes here on this year, like for example talking about myself, that I was like picking for the SBs. Marisa could have been a pick for semifinals, probably making fucking up, might be on quarters. And there are other picks that people, even if easy, probably they didn't want to play. And probably there were other difficulties that were overshoot a little bit. Like we see like Dar Sambalan is still not picked on the tournament, and it's probably the only map that wasn't being picked on the entire tournament. Like it brings kind of joy to see that every map, aside of tiebreakers, has been picked at least once, and it shows that there are some skills that were pretty like defined on some of these maps, and it's a kind of a job that we have been doing for a long time. So it's probably, I think, we can learn from this year and then so on from 2022. We will see if that brings better map pools for NWC and tournaments overall on Mania. But I think this shift that has happened on this year, it actually shows on this tournament that we see the Rise teams actually capable to overshoot the on Rise, and the LN teams actually like do their forte on LNs. So it's actually pretty amazing that the map pool actually reflects what we have seen on the matches.
That's true. It's true. I think indeed the map pooling has been going pretty well. It's just, I think we need to be a bit aware of the difficulty in the finals when it comes to Jax, because as we've seen, Dark Sambalands not getting any attention. It's probably not because everyone is bad Jax, but it's probably to do with it either being a bit finicky on the difficulty side of thing,
A bit
or
gimmicky, maybe.
chokeable. Yeah, maybe even gimmicky. I mean, it's not like Break kind of gimmicky where you have bursts in between short jacks, which is pretty jarring to play. But it's still pretty. It's done a pretty good job, I'd say. Now that we're on the subject of map pooling, I'd like to mention that map pooling is entirely voluntarily. It's entirely voluntarily, and it has very little reward. So do please be respectful towards the map pool selector.
Absolutely. Like, as someone who has been a map selector myself, I can tell you it's not the greatest thing in the universe. It's not even close to that. You get a lot of negative feedback sometimes. You get a lot of good positive feedback too, but you don't feel like it is that much rewarding because of it. So always try to be respectful, always try to be good with the map selectors, because they're putting a lot of effort. It's not that they're picking bad stuff, and I'm saying bad in quotations because there's really, I mean, I don't think this year had any like bad picks at all, but they're trying their best. And I will argue though that this year there was a shift on the map selecting process that was for the better. And I've seen it behind the scenes. I'm not sure if you guys spotted it from outside, as someone who helped producing some of the maps that were customly made for the tournament. I feel that overall team was getting bigger, and I think that's a very good thing. I don't think 3 map selectors alone can do all by themselves. They need some play testers. They need people who can make maps for them when they need something that fits. We saw that from a lot of different custom mappers. We saw Joel, we saw people from FFR, as you said, coming and putting some of their maps. Raids obviously are a thing. Checking the offsets, just getting the replays, judging how hard or not it is. And that helps a lot in general. I think that's a direction that the map selecting team decided to go through this year, and it's that direction we should be following in the following years as well. Sure, picks can be improved. Yeah. There were some arguments. Long notes on some stages were a little bit too much on the hybrid side, potentially. I don't think that was that big of an issue. I think those still favor the LN teams overall. But it's true, the picks can be improved. But in this direction that we are following, it's something that can be worked on and should hopefully be fixed or improved upon the next iterations of the tournament.
I think that it's pretty much fine even if you have bit of mistakes here and there. It's like, it's serviceable, right? So it's not like it's completely broken. So it's just a matter of doing some fine tuning until we get that right pool that I think we are all waiting for in the future.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think it's all right. I think we have learned from a lot of mistakes that we have done on past MWCs. Like, if I recall correctly, like on 2019, like I think quarterfinals, like we had a lot of mistakes on one pool because of many reasons. It's not because we want to create bad pools, but we had a lot of personal issues and we rushed a lot of things. Sadly, we did a bad job for quarterfinals, and we take like the loss on those moments. Like we try to improve, we try to do things, but it's not because we want to be on the spotlight. We want to be like high praise. We I think I talked on the entirety of my polling team that we aren't looking for like recognition or anything. We are doing this because we like to work on things like this, because we like to help the community going into this direction. Probably we have we can have some issues like, a lot of times like we are not like perfect, but I think since 2019 to 20 to now is like we have at least these pools make me like happier to see that we are kind of improving, and hopefully the from here up to like 2022 onwards, I think we can do like better jobs on my polling, only for the people to actually enjoy the tournament, because that's the main like goal here, to actually like give everyone like a nice time, to actually not think that the tournament is a chore or anything. Actually, it is a game at the end of the day. So I hope that you are actually like having like some fun, and we as map selectors, we actually try to actually enjoy what we are doing. So it's not okay to actually see that people are actually going into this like discussions, or actually like playing, hating the things that people are doing only that because they only get the time. So yeah, it's mostly like that.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a couple of other things just minor things, some trivia things to say. The Purple Palace tiebreaker, which I was involved in, like the overall creation process, had some fun ideas here and there, and I did mention on one of the streams that there was a thing such as the NWC card that made us decide that, oh, this is going to be Mario Kart themed, just because of that one image. I'm not sure if the stream can display it, but if they can, I'd be grateful, because it's really cute. And
Actually, at first I didn't got what the reference was on the MWC card, and then I saw the image on the on one of the chat logs, and it was like pretty funny. But yeah, I think it's funny because last year, if people I actually didn't know, we had the intention to have custom tiebreaker for MWC, but it was pretty difficult for a million PP from Camellia is now, but the issue was that when people actually like look like hear the song, it was very difficult to bring the finest difficulty in a song like that. I think there are some mappers that actually like did that, but actually like overshoot the difficulty for a song like that, and it was kind of the same direction here on Purple Palace. Like it was kind of difficult at some point. It was even going to be rated. I think it was like to get rates.
No,
because
I will bash you every single chance I had, because you cannot ruin a song like that.
Yeah, at some point it was actually difficult to get this level of difficulty for finals. It was kind of going into the semi-finals level of difficulty. For some reason, I don't know how all the people that actually pulled this like got this level of difficulty for Purple Palace, and it is a pretty nice match. Like a pretty nice map. Like we saw it twice. I hope we see like a third time here.
Why not four times?
Well, why not four times?
Yeah. It could happen. The possibility.
I mean, I think if we see it 3 times, there's a fairly good chance that we see it 4 times.
Oh
At least
God.
against that match.
Imagine playing like
No,
26 maps,
26
26
songs in
maps,
a row.
26 songs in a row. Like people
Yeah.
will die, literally, their hands will die with this.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the overall song it worked like pretty nicely. I give all the thanks for like Silent Room to Seura to William to actually create this song for this tournament. Also for all the this like custom tiebreakers that has happened on this year. Like it is nice that one crazy idea that didn't happen on last Mania World Cup it actually created a trend for all World Cups to create this at least on World Cups because there are community tournaments that actually like do custom tiebreakers too. So it's actually a nice shift into this, and hopefully, who knows if we have custom entire pools in World Cups, it will be like crazy and a very crazy idea. But for starters, these custom tiebreakers are actually pretty fine. I actually like.
Yeah.
I thank you for all the job of the mappers involved.
Yeah, and thanks to Mango as well, helped up like gathering the
Yeah,
artists
big thanks to
and
Mango.
picking the pieces together, putting the pieces together for the tiebreaker to actually happen, to exist, this song. And of course to the artist, man, like that song is just
Yeah,
crazy. That song is just crazy.
Yeah.
I had like chills when I was hearing it for the first time because
Yeah.
it's beautiful. It's really a beautiful song.
Yeah, I think so too. Now there's a bit of a pet peeve I have. It's that usually in tiebreaker songs, it's always in the minor key. If you don't know music theory, it basically means sad key. Supposed to be dramatic stuff. Like Camellia almost always writes in minor. But this time around, we got a big triumphant kind of song, which I think really fits into MWC rather than it always being doom and gloom and aggression, stuff like that. And then another thing that was kind of funny going into this was that when we were done with the music, like it was ready to be finalized, we were talking a bit about potential backgrounds. And then we realized that one of the artists was actually also an artist, as a visual artist, like to draw stuff.
Yeah,
So,
like a draw artist. Yeah, like,
yeah,
that was a bit surprised as
should
well.
say
I didn't know. The background is really cool too. Like honestly, the map is
Yeah.
just overall. I love it. I wanted to see that every single year if it's possible.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
god,
a
we will have
cool
Pulse
package, I think.
1.1 for next year.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go. Okay.
Purple house, then we're gonna have a purple castle, then we're gonna have a purple city,
God.
or we're just going purple all the time.
Well, we're
Yeah.
just going purple.
You look at this, the purple tie. I
Yeah,
picked
purple
just
tie, let's
the
go.
purple tiles.
Yeah. No, but
And
I
also
think
purple lighting. Actually, I can change it. Let me see if I can go even more purple.
more
Oh
purple.
no! Oh yeah, I know what's gonna do. Oh god.
Yeah. But I think
Oh,
it's
let's
okay. It's
Let's go.
okay. But yeah, I think this trend from past years, from custom tiebreakers, like they actually they custom map some songs. I think it was like you, Juan, on 2017 when you started with Infected Mushroom, like the Messenger 2012. Like, it was like
Yeah.
custom map for MWC, and they started a kind of a trend on some.
Well, to be
custom
fair, it kind of started with maybe I Can Fly in the Universe back in 2016 by Evening.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that we copied the idea, it's more like we actually made it with the intention of it to be a tiebreaker, not just a map that represented the song accurately, which is, I think, the point of I Can Fly in the Universe. And up since then, yeah, it's something that we kind of wanted to do for a long time. Now that the feature artist project is so, like, developed compared to what it was back then, it is so much, not easier, but more realistic to get this kind of things rolling and working. And it's something that all people enjoy. I don't think I have seen a single person complaining about the tiebreaker at all. Like, yeah, you could get some minor complaints about it maybe not being hard enough or whatnot, but the song is just so good, and it's such a cool thing in general. Like, you're playing a song that was specifically crafted for this stage of the tournament, for this thing in particular. Like, do you know how hyped that feels? As a tournament playing myself, I would love to be in that position. I don't mind if the map is bad. I don't really care.
I thought it's very interesting to see some of the scores that people got on this tiebreaker. We thought at some point that it was like really hard to actually get difficulty, and sometimes it was like I didn't know how people can play this map, especially with how fast some of the streams and some of the difficulty goes. And I have seen people like getting like 960k, so it's actually pretty insane for a.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 980k from one of the top tier players.
I really want to see a FC on it, to be honest. Maybe if we do get that tiebreaker showdown between USA and Brazil, maybe one of the players are just strong enough to be able to endure all 6 minutes of pure unadulterated...
Pure annihilation. I like to call it.
Annihilation.
Purple annihilation.
Yeah. Oh no! Don't give ideas for this.
Next song. That's the next song.
Yeah, we got it.
We're gonna call it Purple Annihilation.
Yeah, probably you can give.
Instead of a Mario Kart thing, we go for a Doom thing, right?
Yeah. Save them name for MWC7 key. For it is.
Oh, that's true. That's gonna happen, guys.
That's gonna happen.
It is happening.
It's happening. Yeah, it's happening. 7 keys actually will be back in some months. So if you didn't get your daily dose of mania, you actually will have another dose in some months. I think it will be starting around January, as it was years before. But yeah, I think it's actually that brings the point that the community is actually being kind of more involved in tournaments. So looking that just before it was like a closer circle, now we have a bigger circle of people that are actually helping on 4K, and actually Davey actually helped to have some group of people that we don't want to spoil, but that they want to bring this 7 key scene back into life. That sadly on the last years like didn't have a 7 key tournament. Official 7 key tournament. So we will see if 7 key actually like brings all the hype and another song into the Portal team. Hopefully for this one, yeah. Hopefully,
yeah. We'll see. There has been like just barely any community tournaments in 7K, so the hope is that we'll be able to revitalize the scene a bit, because 7K tournaments are also really interesting to watch, because there's even more of a wild card feel with 7K, because you have 3 more keys to worry about. You can potentially miss anywhere in the map. When I play 7K, I just miss in random places all the time. And it's not like 4K where you just can easily FC everything, which might mean that it becomes a bit more of a wild card feel in terms of tournament.
You also get a lot more technical. Like the fact that you have 7 keys means that you don't really have to go that fast for patterns to be impossible to hit, because coordination is a thing. I mean, it's always in 4 key, but it's more of a thing in 7 key. You have cores in general are so much more different and so much difficult. You have brackets. You have a lot of new patterns that you don't see all that often in 4 key. So it's really interesting from a viewer perspective too. So you better stay tuned for that. January is going to be an interesting month, and 7 Key World Cup making a return is going to make it all better. Hopefully, at the very least, we expect that much to be the case. I think it will.
It will be fine.
It will be. Don't have that doubt in your mind. It's going to be amazing.
It will be. It will be. So we have about maybe 15 minutes until we are done with this talk, because we need to do some very minor preparations before the actual match that is going to make the conclusion of this amazing tournament we had. So why not talk a little bit? I don't think we did enough justice just yet about the protagonist of this event that we're going to see coming right now. How about we talk a little bit more about the Brazilians and the North Americans, the United States team overall?
Overall, Brazil, it depends a bit I'd say it depends a bit if they show any inconsistencies, because the Brazilian team is overall really strong on almost any map. We just see the other scores they've had. I think that USA had a slight advantage on the LN side of things because of some of their players being really strong on it. So if I'd say that it might be about if Brazil kind of undershots at LN and the USA performs really well on LN, that we might see it go all the way to a tiebreaker potentially. Overall, it's they're really strong right now, so I'm not sure what the USA could realistically do against them.
Well, I personally think. I'm sorry if I interrupted you, Walter. I thought you were going to say something.
No worries.
No worries. Okay, it's okay.
Okay, I'll be brief then. I think the Brazilians are the favorites here, right? They already beat the United States once on the same pool, in fact. But I don't want to put some doubt in the Brazilian team. But last year, Japan defeated Brazil on the winners' finals, and then from the losers bracket, Brazil came back and defeated the Japanese team. So history might repeat itself. I think the United States showed up very strongly, more so than we saw on the previous week against Malaysia this time. So I wouldn't be so surprised if we see a closer match than we expect. And I think if Brazil loses like a break point, they might start to collapse mentally a little bit. Because they will start feeling this pressure, this nerves that happens so often that you feel like, okay, we should be comfortably winning this matchup. But then you lose a point, and then they win their point, and you're a break point down, and then doubts start to come to your mind, and you're like, I mean, we still have the bracket reset, so maybe not burn that much stamina, and then strategizing starts to take place and kicking, and the moment you don't realize it, you're down, and you have to play a bracket reset. So I wouldn't be so surprised if the US can pull out some sort of godlike run, as they did against Malaysia, maybe even better than that, because they're definitely going to need that against Brazil. I will say don't discard them just yet. This is going to be more interesting than what most people think.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Brazilian Grand Finals match that they had on 2019 when they actually faced South Korea, and they actually go all the way into the bracket reset and Grand Finals tiebreaker. But they were actually pretty close, but to actually won that match like 7-5 the second match on, but they actually it was straight away taken from the Brazilians. They actually went with the revenge on 2020. But this year, it actually, looking at the scores, like if you actually look at the role of these two teams, you'll see that Brazil actually lost 4 points on the tournament. Like they actually swept Germany. They actually got 6-1 with Indonesia, 6-1 with China, 7-1 with UK, another 7-1 with US. Like they actually seem to be pretty dominant, but depends mostly. It doesn't matter that much on the road. It depends only on this match, and probably it's a kind of a similar role from the US. Like actually have most of the matches with won by pretty high scores. Actually, the only mishap that they had on the tournament was their match with France. They actually lost, I think, with the Olympics. The Olympics with France. That was very capable with the LNs, that team. So yeah, I think it depends mostly on the mental fortitude of these two teams, especially US. They actually need to win once against Brazil to actually force the bracket reset. I think they are capable if they actually point some of the scores that did hours ago with Malaysia. So we will see. Actually, it will be a pretty interesting match.
Brazil, indeed, it just depends a bit on Brazil, both not underperforming. It's also, if United States want to take it all the way, then they'd have to be really strong mentally, because the mental stamina needed for something like this is immense. Don't underestimate it. Nerves are a very real and dangerous thing. And when you got pools this fast and this intense, you'll just get misses where you didn't mean to miss. Of course, you don't really mean to miss in any case, but it happens because you're not at your very best. So United States really has to be at their peak performance, because if they perform even slightly worse, we see something like their match against France, where even their really strong side, the LN side, apparently got defeated. It was quite a surprise. And
Well, it might be something like last year when on the Japan versus Brazil match on the grand finals, it was like pretty close, but it depends on one player missing, or one player like not being at their best for that match, and that might define the entire match. So it depends on how these two teams actually go into this match.
Yep, they certainly need to be at their best. They cannot afford any single mistake. The United States know they are the underdogs here, but they also know they have what it takes to pull out the fight that they require to. And Brazil, not so much this tournament, but in the past have shown that they sometimes struggle with consistency. They sometimes struggle with just capitalizing their advantages. And in general, I don't think this has been the case in this tournament, but it can very well happen again. And US has to bank on those things. They know Brazil is probably the better team in paper. They have players, like we said, Lothus, amazing tournament player, has been performed out of his mind throughout the entire thing, not struggle a single time. Silly Fanger, Amaron, Light, like those four alone can probably already just win the tournament by themselves. But not just that, they also have two more players on their back to support if they need some changes, need some rest. Like, Brazil is just stacked, and it's going to take a while for the United States to drain that down, and they have to start with the right foot. Of course, I'm not missing the other players. Lemarchino and Len are the other two players from Brazil that will be probably subbing in for maybe SBs and some of the LNs, perhaps, if they have the chance. And the United States side, of course, Lil Richie, a monster, has always been a monster for the United States. Tough Daddy, Grip Warrior, Stupid Man, Mashu, Baniyani. The roster is just as stacked as the United States, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see if Brazil will again exert dominance with their amazing performance, with their amazing accuracy, or will the United States have this golden chance to force this bracket reset to maybe win the whole thing? This is the grand final we were all waiting for a long while. This Brazil-United States. I'm very excited for it. I hope it is a close match.
We are hoping it's a close match.
Really exciting indeed. Can't wait to see it. I think it might be time to just round things off. It's 10 minutes until the match starts, and probably need a bit of rest before that. Me and Juan will be commentating. Yep. So
there is only one question to do. There is only one question to do before the match, and it is, what team will win this tournament?
I'm putting my Brazilian glasses.
What is your choice?
I am putting my Brazilian glasses right here.
Brazil. It almost looks like it's computer generated. What is that witchcraft?
It does look like a filter. It really does, but it's not. I swear to God.
Yeah, David, you do have a choice for... Yeah, I think everyone has a choice with tournament points to actually predict, but I think... Okay, so Juan goes with Brazil. Davey, you wanna go with a team?
Realistically, it's gonna be... I wouldn't say it's outright, because it is still kind of... maybe they can, maybe United States can, but I'm sticking to the boys back in the West, United States.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think seeing Brazil 2 times in a row being champions is very likely, but I want the hype, and I want US to actually go all the way. Like last year for Brazil, I think it's better to go all the way. So hopefully we see Brazil giving their best, but I think it's the time for US to actually capitalize again and be champions since 2015. They actually the last time they were MWC champions. So probably they can do it like another time. So hopefully we see United States winning the all the tournament. But no matter what, no matter if it's Brazil or if it's United States, we need to say that this will be a very, very, very interesting match. So I hope that everyone on the chat is hyped. Everyone here from the tournament staff is actually hyped. We were waiting for this final 1 year, so it's a thing to see.
All rests on just the upcoming match. We'll see what happens, really. And with that said, I think we'll be thanking for ourselves. Thank you, Juan and Walter, for hanging out and having a bit of a chat. And we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. You don't want to miss that match.
Let's bring the hype!
The conclusion of the tournament is just about to take place. It's only 7 minutes. I'm not sure. I'm gonna do the Neo thing once more because I think it merits it. Because now I give you another choice. It's not the blue pill. It's not the red pill. It's the US pill or the Brazilian pill. Which one you're gonna choose? Go predict on the channel. There you have the channel points that are very useful to play some games with us. And until then, get something to drink maybe. Get something to eat. Get ready because insanity is about to take place in the Mania World Cup 2021 for the last time this year. We'll see you there.
Yeah. See you soon.
Yeah. Alright, everyone, we are back with another Mania World Cup 2021 matchup. Unfortunately, you're not joined by us in suits. We'll be hanging on in the sidelines to commentate a bit, but yes, this is the last guys you saw on the previous stream, which happened around 10 minutes ago. Which is me, Davey, and Juan. Hello, Juan.
Hello, Davey. It feels like I have not talked with you in a long time, man. It's been so long.
Yeah, well, what's up? It's been a
up?
while.
Yeah.
But yes, now we have our very last matchup. So this is exciting stuff. We have Brazil versus United States, who will be the grand champion of the Mania World Cup 2021. We're about to find out.
Yep. It's a wild thing, right? Every time we get to this point, right, the grand final, the last match of the tournament, I always feel a bit nostalgic. We have gone through such a long journey that felt so short, but it's finally coming to a conclusion. We are finally gonna see who wins this whole thing. By the end of this match, we'll have the champion decided, and it's between Brazil and the United States. This year, no matter what happens, the tournament.
Wow, a stupid man out of the gate, rolling 100.
Whoa, okay. I was gonna make a emotional
Wow.
speech about the tournament just staying on America regardless of who wins, but then we just get 100 roll, so that's more important.
Yeah, it's definitely more important. We need those imaginary numbers. We need to say them out loud when they happen. But yeah, Brazil will be banning first. They're probably going to ban maybe, a long note pick would be
Yeah,
my
I
guess.
wouldn't be surprised if they ban algebra here, honestly. But we'll see.
What ban did they have last time around?
I think it was algebra actually they banned against the Brazilians. I don't think they banned it against Malaysia, but I believe they banned it against Brazil. Brazil has a very strong release lineup. Like Amaron is a god at the lens and releases specifically, so is Lothus and Silly Fangers, so they have a good time in a map like algebra, even more so than considering how long it is, which will just make them look better in the accuracy department. But there's also Be Fortunate they could go for. I don't think Be Fortunate is a good ban because column lobs are a thing and the US can bank on those. But they're going to be banning... what is it? Okay, the Brazilians are banning already Fake Promise, so no surprises there, going for like the Sharpener, straight up jump stream pick. And now the United States probably going to be banning Algebra, as we argued earlier. No, they're going to be banning Arcav? Okay, well that makes sense, right? The score on Arcav by the Brazilians last time was insane, like amazingly good.
Oh yeah, the thing about this matchup is that they are facing off again, which means that they have more info on each other, how they perform, because this is the same pool. So there's not anything like very unexpected since they did face off just a week prior. So this is going to be, might be because of that in the United States' favor, because they have a bit of a better sense about what Brazil's strong points and weak points are, and they need to really go for those weak points right in order to secure at least a single point, because overall Brazil is just so inhumanely strong that it feels almost insurmountable.
I'm honestly kind of surprised though that the United States is not going straight for SVs, and even more so surprised that both of the SVs maps are open. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and we also got Dark Sambaland.
Yeah, I was about to say, whoa, this is a great match already. It didn't even start and it's already hype.
Indeed it is. I mean, it's just the fact that it's the very last match is already hype enough. The very last Grand Finals matchup.
Alright then, here we go. I actually don't dislike this pick by the United States either, because Rise is their specialty, and this is probably one of those Rise maps they have the upper hand of. We'll see if it actually ends up working on. They need a great performance by Real Richie and Grip Warrior, definitely. And good backup from Stupid Man here as well, at 99.80. This is a very, very close match so far, but we find the first miss of matchup.
Yeah, and that was not clean at all. He dropped all the way down to 99.25. That is going to hurt the performance a lot. So right now it really rests on just the Brazilian side messing up. And I don't know if Grip Warrior can really climb back enough for his act to recover, because he did hold really strong act.
It is really hard because you have to bring it back to a point that you're better than the Brazilians, and the worst score right now by the Brazilians is by Lotus of all people with a 99.81%. So as much as the United States might be accuracy with their top 2 players, Grip Warrior is just finding misses all over the place. Oh, right, Lotus won 3 misses. That's actually favorable for the US.
Yeah,
the
that was
from Grip though is a bit too low.
It seems like no. Grip Warrior is just struggling just enough for.
It's a huge drop!
No! Lofus! What's happening? Oh my god, the advantage is dropping even more. It seems it's going into the favor of the United States. Finally, I'm struggling to say words right now because of how big of a turnaround it was. We are at the last third of the match. I mean, of the map.
That was a shocking choke by the entirety of the Brazilian team. We still see 2 full combos from the United States, one of them in a low accuracy, but it doesn't matter. The United States just has a lead here and they can hold on to it, and there's only a quarter of the map left. If they hold this, they will start with the right foot on their own pick, and that's exactly what they were looking for. They only got SVs last time. This is a great step up already.
Indeed.
Tricky transition there, Wario heading at 200, but it's not going to be enough so long as there's no more misses. The North Americans have the advantage.
Seems like, and Lil Richie getting it all the way home with the 99.
Is that enough?
I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh no!
It's going to get to the end.
It's the very last. Oh no! Don't do this to me! Don't do this to me! No!
Brazil's back in the lead, and they will take this.
Oh, at the very last moment, stupid man misses
oh
again.
My goodness!
That could have been. Oh my god!
Oh my god! That's such a good score by Lil Richie as well. It's so unfortunate they didn't get this. That might have been the Brazilians' chance for them to lose the ball already on the start of the match. 5 misses by Lotus and a single one for the other 2, but the United States just can't compete. They just collapsed it at the end. Superman was holding their ground as much as he could, but at the end, the stamina being a bit of a factor, and so the Grip Warrior struggled to hitting the combos all the time. So many misses all over the place, and that's a break point already for the Brazilians.
Indeed. That was our ride. We are already the first pick, and we're already thrown in for a loop. It feels like I've aged 3 additional years because of that pick. Now let's see if every other pick will be as intense. And we're getting Algebra, which means Antima, who's their name? I keep forgetting, was starting on A on Brazil.
Yeah, we have Lemarchino here. Amaron is going to be probably joining for this. Is Amaron doing better a lot right now? I'm not sure. I changed the mics.
They're asking how their days are going. It seems like it's still are waiting. Hello? It seems like one is having some issues.
Alright, now it should be working, hopefully. Hello?
Yeah, it's working.
There we go. Okay, so Algebra now the pick. No surprises here by the Brazilians. They go straight for this, as it was not banned. Last time it was banned, they couldn't get the chance on this. And I seen the score by Amaron. Guys, if he can get his PB on this, you're all gonna be very shocked. And by very shocked, I mean very shocked.
It seems like the Brazilians and the United States are being shocked at something too. I didn't see what happened there, but they reacted to something. Okay.
So, let's see if they can hold their grounds together here. This is a long map, so they are... Oh, there's a disconnection early on, so we'll probably get an abort.
But I was about to say, the fact that Lemarchino's playing this might give some opportunity to the United States if he struggles with the nerves, as he is not a player that has that much experience compared to the rest of the Brazilian roster. But I think he can hold his ground just as fine. But here, really, Amaron has a wild amount of 6 200s on this map.
Oh my god. How do you compete against that? But yeah, like, Algebra is one of those maps that requires a lot of consistency. It's not extremely difficult to just column locked on, or like, it's not a map you can normally struggle on physically. So it really puts in that requirement of just pure focus, pure raw focus. Because it goes on for 4 minutes of difficult releases all the way through. Even if they're not hard physically, they're still tricky to coordinate, and you can still drop so much AC if you just mistime something.
Absolutely. This is a map that you could... it's not that easy to column lock, I'd say, because it's not as dense as something like Be Fortunate, but it definitely has this potential where you can just misread one of those releases, get some coordination issues, and insanely drop your accuracy because of that. And we'll have to see if the two teams have what it takes. The Brazilian, as I said, picking this, it was banned last time, so the United States definitely not the most comfortable pick for them. We'll see if it works.
Yeah, but the United States does have players such as Tofdaddy who excels at these kind of maps. And because Marcino is also playing, it might mean...
oh my god, I just cursed him. I cursed him before the map even started. But Amaron, the one guy who you expect to hold the ground here for Brazil, finds the first miss of the map, and the United States is very slightly ahead. With Stupid Man's accuracy being on the low side here, I'm a bit surprised that I'm seeing a 99.1 on this.
Yeah, it seems like he's struggling a bit too. I guess that was one of the reasons. It's actually enough so that the scores are flickering even though Amaron got a miss. So this might just rest on the United States actually FCing this, which is a possibility. I won't put it
it's definitely a possibility. This team can definitely get a 3-way FC, but this accuracy from Stuman, he's rushing a lot and having a lot of issues with the releases all over the place. He's hitting many 200s. And because of that, Brazil is now on the lead back again, despite the one miss.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Stupid Man has to climb a bit more in accuracy to be able to give United States the slightest edge. And really, even the slightest edge matters. And
they have actually putting ahead by a fair margin now. This is a long map too, so a difference like this, about 8,000, maybe 10,000 points, is a huge lead.
Yeah.
I don't think a single mix makes the difference here. They need two from Brazil. A little bit of a break before the hardest part of the map though, so some time to recover that accuracy for Stupid Man.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be able to recover. But overall, his performance has already just became a bit of a detriment for United States performance. While Tofdaddy is holding pretty strong. He's actually having the highest score of the entire lobby right now. And Matthew
Grace, dude. No issues. After this transition though, the map picks up and it just goes on. It doesn't stop anymore. At this point and until the end, the map is just going to be denser and more tricky to coordinate. So we'll see if this mini burst can prove to be a difficulty for Brazil or if the United States is going to collapse instead. We'll see.
Yeah, right now Mashu is actually dropping a lot of accuracy. It's getting Brazil even more of a lead coming into this very last section.
Yeah,
and
those mini lands are hard.
Yeah,
Mashu drops!
Oh, yeah, that, oh no, Mashu.
Exactly one of those mini lands that we were mentioning. Oh god, that's bad for the United States. This is a pick for the Brazilians still, so it's not that bad to lose this. But they were holding the ground. They had a 3-way FC and perhaps a chance with this last bit, which is actually column lockable as it goes 1/4 throughout the entirety of it. So a single miss from the United States might be not bad enough to see a column lock here by Brazil. I don't just see that happening. Marchino's holding the ground really well, and Tove now misses.
Yeah.
That's gonna be it for the United
That is
States,
going
I
to
think.
spell doom. That is going to spell doom for United States right there, as Brazil takes their own point. Now United States has a shot. I'd say they'd have to go for something like SV, because they're really strong at that.
That's some hot score there by Marchino, isn't it? 14-200s, not the best ratio in the universe, but definitely a very good one nonetheless. Silifanga gets the top score of the lobby, however, but I have to point out that Marchino's score from someone who's a newbie into this World Cup scenario, who's not a veteran, who doesn't have that much experience, coming into the grand final and putting that score, that's great. That's really good.
Is he calling? Is Stupid Ben calling for the pick of this crap?
I'm not sure. I mean, their score was kind of cracked, but I'm not sure if they have to go for Bizcracked, of all things. Oh, they are going for it?
Actually?
Are they actually picking this? No, they're picking Uta. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. So we're gonna do some changes on the stream side, yep. Yeah, there was no way they were gonna pick Bizcracked in that situation.
Yeah, I think it was just a joke. But right now we're getting ready for the what's it called? AU. Thank you. And indeed, it's going to be very techy. Yeah, it's one of those very tricky map that's definitely super chokeable. It seems like United States' strategy is go for picks where Brazil can potentially choke a lot, and we saw that on the last pick, where they did struggle a lot. It was just that on the very last stretch, United States struggled even harsher than Brazil did. Alright, they're going to give it them all. I think we saw a bit of a switch up. Light is coming in. I think this is the first time this match is played. I'm not sure, but I think that is the case. We also got Lofus, the Rice Monster, joined with Silly Fangirl on Brazil's side. And we also got Lil Richie coming in, together with Stupid Man and Grip Warrior. It seems like Juan's a bit quiet right now. I'm not sure why.
Oh, I'm absolutely quiet. It's just that I'm wondering. This map should be in favor of the United States, but ever so slightly, I think. We'll see if that is the case. Again, they need great performances by Lil Richie, but that was a miss by Light at the very early stage of the map, so that's a good opportunity for the United States already.
Indeed, Lil Richie is holding it tight with 99.8, and Lofus actually dropping. Lofus is struggling a bit on the right side, which is surprising.
Remember when we were talking on suits, the Brazil struggles with consistency. It was not the case for the entire tournament right now, but this is happening now, and Grim Warrior drops alongside Superman though, with a drop from Silly Fangirl. This is now one miss in favor of the United States.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Superman is struggling a lot on the accuracy. So this is all resting on the low Richie.
Oh, Grim Warrior drops again!
Oh no! That can actually switch things. It's in Brazil's favor again. Oh dear. I'm not sure if
Brazil is on the lead again. That's just insane. Like, United States having the ideal scenario, exactly what they were looking for. Brazil just choking all the time, all their players, like literally the three of them, both like they all missed in both of the rice maps, and yet US is not able to pull through. They're struggling with consistency themselves. And as long as Little Richie
Oh,
holds,
no.
they have a
There's
chance.
a-
And now there's a double drop.
Magnificent silly fangirl, which means that United States has a shot. There's just one final really hard section to go through, and
But there's still like a third of the map remaining though. They still have a minute to go through, and if we saw anything, it's like Grid Warrior struggling with consistency, and so there is the miss, and so is the miss from Stupid Man too!
oh my
Brazilians
god,
are on the lead again! In a blink of an eye!
yeah, it's just they miss almost always twice, just both players.
Oh, and Stupid Man's just not holding it. His stamina is dead. It's not there anymore. It's abandoned him. And Brazil now has a huge lead again. Light pulling as much weight as he can for the Brazilians, and everybody else really holding their combos together. And as much as really Richie is trying his best, he's holding the incredible full combo on this, which is not something we've seen very often if we ever seen it before. But that's
Yeah,
not
this
enough.
map
You
is
need
just
3
so-
players to perform like that, and it's not happening. Brazil will take it. Again, a 3-point lead, 2 break points for them. The miss from Lux at the end's not gonna matter as Green Warrior trades
Oh,
it.
yeah. It's
And
a
that's just
trade,
it.
but it's like, yeah,
It's not enough time.
that's my bit. It's my bit, yeah. And the final quads that ends the map.
What is that score by Little Richie though? Again, the Brazilian wins as a team, but
Oh my
Little Richie with
God.
2 200s! 992k!
How does
he
it
got a
do?
993 into a 992 over Rise! What is this guy on? He's just playing so well!
Yeah, he's performing out of his mind. It's just the other players has to perform around the same as him in order for United States to have a clear shot. And yeah, Stupid Man unfortunately having a bit of a bad run. If he didn't, if he just actually somehow got just one miss, that could have been United States. And now it's going to be Brazil's turn to pick. So let's see.
2 breakpoints
Nice
down,
pick,
Brazil's pick now. Everything's looking grim for the United States and bright for the Brazilians. And we'll see what they can do here. They probably gonna go for Beast Cracked here, I think. Maybe be fortunate if they want to risk it a little bit. And I think they have a good option here to risk it as they are on the lead by a fair margin. They can afford to pick the difficult stuff now instead of holding it for the end where the nerves are going to start to take place. They also have the bracket reset if they even like fudge it up too much. So I'll honestly be fortunate here of all things.
That or I think they have a good shot on Dusanko because United States does struggle on that in particular from what I saw at the previous scores. But it's still maybe be fortunate for this crack that says they're more stronger picks here. They have a lot of options. In the United States, their options are shrinking. They might go for something like Lead the Fifth, Methane, or
Actually, what if they pick Duck Summerland?
Duck Sambaland? Yeah, that could be it. I'm not sure about how strong the entire roster is on the Jack side.
Oh, they're gonna go for Dusanko. They're gonna for the hybrid.
Yep. Yeah, Grip Warrior being hyper. Me too, Grip Warrior. Let's hope that hype translates into some really strong performance. Like right now, it's just a matter of them being consistent, right? They just sometimes just drop the ball, which leads to Brazil taking the lead because they're just that much more consistent. They still show that Brazil has weak points. They do miss, and they can miss a lot, but it's still not enough, it seems like, if United States just is inconsistent.
This is a shorter map, so at least United States has that thing going for them. This is like pretty one-sided map, though. I think Brazil is gonna comfortably take this pick, But if there is one chance for the US, is that it is a short map, and chokes in short
Yeah.
maps matter more than on longer maps, especially when the accuracy is in favor of the Brazilians here. So we'll have to see if that is the case. Lotus is struggling a little bit in the
What?
intro.
Is that
already.
a... I'm not sure if that... Wait.
Yeah, that was a legit miss. That was 100% a legit miss.
Ooh, that is going to hurt. So yeah, they do have a shot right now. And because it's a shorter map, they have just a bit of an advantage. Because, as you said,
The miss was
nothing more.
very early, so it's not that big of an advantage. It can still be
Yeah.
overcome just by accuracy, despite how short this map is compared to the rest. We're already a third into the map, and United States still holding their lead here. 99.82 for Lil Richie, almost matching Silly Fangers, 99.86, which is unbelievably good, by the way. And Superman and Amber on board just fighting against each other. The accuracy difference between those 4 players is pretty much the same.
No!
Oh, but there's a miss by Lil Richie.
Yeah, that was
Best
a big
score.
rush by Lil Richie. He dropped accuracy too because of it, and Stupid Man finding a miss too, which means that Brazil has a comfortable lead going into the second half. And Stupid Man unfortunately missing even more. So yeah, it's almost over now, but Amaron
At this point.
also finding a miss. Amaron does find a miss, so there might be a shot for them, but it's very slight.
Lotus drops though?
Actually,
Will this be enough time for the United States? I think they might
accuracy,
have enough time here. Oh, this will be huge breakpoint if they can hold it ground, but can they do it? I
Can they?
don't
Can they?
think we have enough time here. They need another miss.
This is extremely
Oh
tight.
god, it's getting so close! I cannot believe it, but it seems like the Brazilians are still pulling ahead
Yeah,
by
it makes it
only
after all
400 points.
4,000.
Wow!
Oh my.
Crazy score again by Silly Fang, who's playing a really great match here. Only 4 200s and a single 100 above the 990k. Every score above the 990k on a matchup like this, on a map like this, that is so hard. It's incredible. And we're seeing it then pretty much every single map. And we almost saw like 2 of them in this one specifically. Creep Warrior as well with a good score. Not quite the best ratio, unfortunately, compared to everybody else. And as the
I'd
US
say
had
this
this chance. This was a golden chance as well to get a breakpoint.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but Grip Warrior does show potential. He didn't miss that time around, and his score was actually really good because of it. Now, if you can tie Lil Richie's score in together, that means that they might be able to overperform Brazil. But it's also depending on the third player, who's seeming to struggle a lot on these dancer picks. And they're going straight with
Yep,
Methane.
I
This
mean-
might be United States' shot.
Yeah, they don't really have anything else. They have to go for SVs here. What they will go for otherwise, they have struggling with every single thing. They lost hybrids, they lost longness, they lost rice. They just gotta go for the SVs and try to get a reset. To just get a reset of tempo, to get a reset of morale, to win a map and get back into the game, because they should have won the last one, I feel. And the 2 rice
Yeah,
maps,
that was so
they're really close too.
It's just the United States coming just a bit short. It does look like it's a close match overall, but Brazil just keeping it together a lot, which means that United States just falls a bit short.
We get to hear a banger though, so I'm okay with this, regardless of the implications we might have. Wow, that was a very fast start as well. We see Lem Archino as well joining here. No Lem. I'm a bit surprised. I was hoping Lem was going to show up here for this one.
Maybe
But
he's
here
not
we are.
feeling
Oh,
good.
there it is. The cutting edge bug, where this first note goes super, super fast.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just a thing with the current stable build. Something messing up with the red lines calculation, whatever. I don't remember this map too well, but there was...
Oh, there were some pretty tricky memo parts. Well, not really memo. You could easily read them through if you know the gimmick, if you understand the gimmick. But it takes some time, and I'm sure this two teams put enough practice into this, and particularly Marshino, who's holding the best score right now, even matching Top Daddy, even surprising him. That's insane.
But what a surprise. Indeed. Actually, an entire Brazilian roster doing really well, but we're getting into the meat of things, where with a lot of teleports, and Lotus taking a bit of a hit accuracy-wise, which
Still in the lead though.
yeah, they're still there because Stupid Man is struggling a lot on the
Oh, that's
accuracy.
a lot of 200 for Lotus. The scores flickering.
Oh, but Stupid Man's getting even more, but it might still flicker. It's still flickering. So Daddy seems to be performing extraordinarily well as Mercenio. And we're at the halfway point. Now anything
It's
can
literally
happen.
just the difference between Stupid Man and Lotus here. Everything else is like essentially tied. There's like 0.04% of advantage to the United States. Oh, but that was a huge drop by Lotus. They are literally on the lead now.
No.
United States on the lead by a very, very small margin. Maybe like a 200
Yeah,
or maybe a couple of 300.
They're not. It's a bit about those trilly stuff too. If they can
Just
act
compare the
right.
accuracies. Toph and Marcino are exactly the same. Stupid Man and Lotus, there's 0.08, and then between the other two, there's 0.07. So this is like as close as it can get. This is literally on the verge of anything to flip. No misses though.
Yeah.
This means it's gonna get really intense at the end.
Yeah, we're getting into a repeat of the last part where Brazil seems to struggle a lot on the accuracy.
Oh, there was a drop, a big drop by Stupid Man too, and now the accuracies are again the same.
But
Top Daddy also
it
dropping a
feels
little bit.
like they
Marcino
still
still
have...
have an
Oh,
armor.
Hammer
With the drop at the end.
Hammer
There goes the United States and taking the first point. Whoa!
Taking
At
their
the
first
end.
points off of their fame.
B1 double S by Marshino as well. Wow! That's a huge score and a half. 994k, but it's not enough. The United States back on the game. 991, 993. Lil Richie and Tough Daddy hitting extremely well. And wow!
Yeah, no. Holy hell, that score from Masinho, that is spectacular. Even though Toph Daddy's ratio was better by a slightest margin, it's just a difference of essentially two 300s, because Toph Daddy they get two 200s, were they not two like 200s, that would be like either 300s or 320s, I guess. But still, Marcinho getting a V1 SS on a map like that is super impressive. He has to...
That is ridiculous. Like, score from Lil Richie as well, and from Toph. Those three scores were insanely good. Like, ridiculously good.
Yeah, it looks like Stupid Man is fixing their scroll speed. Maybe this will lead to some even improved performance from them. They're going with actual Brazil, going with Dark Sambalam. I'm not...
I told
expecting-
you!
Right?
I told you this was a
Oh.
good pick for Brazil. I agree with this.
No! Oh no, the United States is freaking out over this pick. I'm giving payment by login info. Yeah, they better have to. This one is intense. 167 ppm short jack. It's fast. It's really fast.
So yeah, but I mean, I have no idea how it's humanly possible for people to actually play 167 core jacks, but apparently they can. It has been banned for a while, so this is definitely on the harder side, and it's the first time we're gonna be seeing this in stream and in match in general. So we'll see. I think Brazil just has an amazing roster for jacks and core jacks in general, so I'm not surprised this has been the pick here, especially considering how close the last hybrid was and how inconsistent the Brazilians did look on the Alliance overall over the algebra. But Silly Fangirl, Light and Lotus is just a godlike team for jacks. I will argue Amaron as well, but this might be a bit of out of the comfort zone, and 167 is very fast, so Light might just be making up for that difference. And on the United States side too, Green Warrior and Lil Richie are insanely good powerhouses when it comes to insanely levels of speed and technicality. But Stupid Man, being pretty much a good core jack player as well himself in the past, we'll see if he can hold his ground here for this one. And we have to see if mind blocks are a thing here. Maps like this are very easy to mind block.
They are, and that might be one of the reasons this has been banned a lot. It's pretty tricky. There's some tricky rhythms here and there. What is that? Did
Light just got a miss.
Button? He forgot to press a button at the very calm part. That
Great Warrior Tracer there,
Great Warrior getting a very early miss to
compensate.
Yeah. That could have actually been a way for United States to take an advantage early on.
If Lotus gets an insane score on this, which he might, I'm not sure what we'll do. Because he's holding on the 99.97 already.
Yeah.
And he's climbing, of all things.
That's the score.
So we're still in the lead right now. They're having the accuracy advantage. But not by much, really. It's mostly just Lotus single-handedly carrying the Brazilians. And Light with his accuracy a little bit behind, but it's definitely enough just because of the combo cap difference. They have a little bit more combo advantage in the Brazilian side due to the misses not happening after the 400 combo mark, and really just Lotus, of all things. Like Light and Crib Warrior both had misses, both have the exact same accuracies. But then Lotus just outplays everyone else, and Crib Warrior now misses, and so does Stupid Man. It's just so hard.
Both Stupid Man and Grip Warrior missed extremely hard at once it picked up again. Lotus did drop 2, but it looks like United States is dropping a lot.
Oh, Lotus dropped! I didn't notice that! No!
Yeah, that's unfortunately not going to be our first 998 score we see on this. Oh no, it looks like he's struggling a lot. Yeah, that's brutal.
I want to see the ratio as well, though. 98! Oh, let's go!
98.
That's just as ridiculous. He had those 3 misses at the end because of the stamina, and that's completely understandable. But 98 300s on this is just crazy. Like, it's 20-1. That's 20-1 ratio. Almost.
Yeah, it's almost...
What in the world? And the V1SS as well from Silly Fanger. Like, hello? 995, hello? Little Richie as well with a 1-200 play? What is wrong with this, guys? Why are you banning this? You guys are so good. And the fact that like Brazil just has 3 200s across the entire team? What?
Oh god, that was one-sided. And now they're going for the second SV picks. They're just going for pure SV. And now Brazil is up at their like 5 points, and they just need 2 more points in order to take it to the very they just need 2 points to take it all home, right? So United States really has to go for a miracle here, because Brazil still has lots of options to go with. United States going with Recession as their final SV pick, and what can they do after that? Brazil's probably going to pick either a hybrid or a LN pick, which means that United States really has to just show off in those picks in order to even be close, because it looks like all of the potential rise picks for them are gone now because they just underperformed just slightly, which is unfortunate. But yeah, we're getting into the final SV pick session. I don't think we've seen this as well, unless I'm mistaken.
We saw this in the previous match as well between United States and Brazil. Last time it was Mafane that was banned by Brazil, and this time both of them were left open. Brazil lost this map against the United States last time. It was the only point US got. So we'll see if history repeats here.
Indeed. They have shown to be really strong on SVs, but they can't get too comfortable, because we saw how good Mercino was on that last SV pick, Methane, and it could definitely happen again. And this one in particular requires a lot of LN coordination together with the pure SV reading, which makes it very different from Methane, which is more Rise-based, more Rise-oriented. It's also a lot longer too, so consistency really matters, and it looks like Brazil has an advantage if only very slight. And it's flickering actually, as Turf Daddy is doing extraordinarily well. Same goes with Amaram, beating even Turf Daddy's score. And now it looks about equal actually.
It really is very equal. It's mostly just the accuracy difference between Lotus and Stupid Man, which is putting Brazil on the lead, I believe. Because Amaral and Toph are just equal, and Little Richie is outperforming ever so slightly the Marshino here. But at this point, Amaral hitting a couple of 200s will put United States on the lead again. There's so much more maps still remaining. This is almost a 4-minute chart, and we're not even halfway through yet, so we still have like 2 more minutes of action here, and nerves and coordination and concentration.
Oh!
And Stupid Man finds a drop right on that transition.
Drop. That's a huge drop. Now Brazil has a huge advantage. That's so unfortunate.
That was a huge drop by Lotus though, and Natmeron now drops the ball as well. So many 200s by the top tier Brazilian, who now drops the bomb as well.
Oh my god, what's happened to his hack? It dropped all the way down to 99.09. Oh god. Yeah, no, this is definitely looking in United States ballpark. They just have to keep consistency and don't show another weakness like we just saw with the Toad Daddy.
The lead is just huge. I would be very surprised if the US drops the ball here. It's huge and it's a very long map too.
Yeah, like it's going to be very difficult for the United States to actually drop the ball like for real. It's at the very final stretch, and there's not a lot of difficult SV patterns left. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be United States as we're almost at the very end.
At this point, yeah, it does seem like it. There are no more misses. All the players are holding them together, but it doesn't really matter. US just has a huge advantage here. The accuracy from Tough Daddy proving superior alongside Lil Richie, and as much as Superman is a little bit behind compared to everyone in the Brazilians, Amaran has a miss, and so does Lotus. So, and a big miss, I might add, from Lotus. That's just it. United States will be taking their second point. 5-2 now in favor of the Brazilians, who have to pick once again.
Yep, this is potentially Brazil's last pick.
Oof. 2 200s and 10-1 ratio by the one and only Tough Daddy, 994k. That's a very good score. That's a really good score.
That's super impressive. Really gotta pat himself on the back for that score. I think that's better than the last score he got in Recession.
I wouldn't be surprised, really. That does look a little bit better. Not by much, though. He's very consistent at this.
Yeah. Just the SV God showing off again. But unfortunately, not a lot of SV maps to show off your SV skill on. And it's going to be mostly down to the hybrids, the LN and Rise. United States has potential on 0, I think, because the map is pretty short and it's also pretty technical, and we've seen that Brazil tends to struggle just getting chains of misses on very technical Rise maps.
Okay, we're going straight for Be Fortunate here by Brazil. No surprises here. I was expecting this to go instead of Tusanko last time, so no surprises is coming up right here. We'll see if it works. And as you said, I think Zero might be a good way for the United States to try to get back into the map and to the match, but they really should be winning this. Like, if they lose this, they're on a super tricky spot. They cannot lose any more of their picks. They need to get 2 break points. It gets a bit rough, so if they can get the point here, maybe win Zero, they are maybe back on the game. They still need to get the bracket reset if they want to take it all, so very grim future for the United States, and they have to get back into this as soon as possible. And this one is very big in favor of Brazil, I think. But considering the column lock potential, all that advantage that Brazil has, a single column lock destroys all that advantage if the US can hold their ground.
It destroys it that easily. We've seen column locks on this map in particular a lot. It's not enough to be edit locked, because column locks are still coming after you. You can't hide. because this map is definitely one of them that just tests your density reading to the utmost. It is on the shorter side though. So again, United States have a bit of a I wouldn't say advantage, but they would look better on shorter maps, I'd say. Which is like all they need. It's just that slight chance that they can take it, and we've seen it. We've seen it plenty of times. They just a bit short, very slightly short, and taking those.
Wait, we're not seeing top daddy for this?
Huh.
Interesting. Opting for
Well,
mash
maybe
instead,
they have
which I guess makes
tried
sense. He's holding a
I
very
guess
low
this is a
accuracy.
very different kind of LM. It's
Hammer drops.
hammer off. That's a huge drop. It drops all the way to 99, while United States still holding it pretty strong, I'd say. This might be a strategy of resting some of the players and letting them just practice in peace a bit, or
Another miss by Hammer?
Oh, another! Oh my lord! This could be.
No column locks though. There was just clean misses. The first one was maybe closer to a column lock, but I think I stays running with a very decent lead here.
Yeah, even though it was not like getting misses, like it's just miss upon miss upon miss. It did suffer with their accuracy. The misses
Masher
weren't
drops.
clean enough.
Oh, that's the lowest accuracy too, so that's gonna hurt them a little bit. Brazil might just be taking the lead off that miss alone. What is this accuracy by Masher though?
I think the miss actually matters enough for United States to actually still have an advantage. You just
Yeah,
have
they still do, but it's so small.
Yeah, it is shrinking. I'll tell you that much. And we still have a lot of
No,
match.
Machino drops.
Machino drops.
Oh, he was the lowest accuracy as well from Brazil, so that's gonna match them.
Oh my. And this means that Blue Richie and Grip Warrior together have a bit of a lead. But Silly Fangirl is still holding that 99.74, which
Oh,
is
Hammer
insane.
drops. Huge drop as well on the second column.
Oh no. Oh. It looks like
Oh, USG has this.
bit more.
They just need to hold their ground. There's no map. There's no map left. They just don't need to column lock here. They can get it. And by
They can actually get
12,000
it.
points, they are taking a Lando pick. And they are taking the breakpoint.
Breakpoint. Yes.
If there was one Longno map I expected the US to have a chance, it was this. And if you see the ratios, you're like, how did they do it? But if you see the miscount by Amaron, you understand that is the reason why the United States managed to take the point. Lemarchino as well with a drop. And as much as the score by Silly Fanger is completely out of this world with a 991k, it's not enough. US takes the break point, is back on the game. They have to pick their own now. And if they get another one, they will be at the very least forcing a trade of picks, really. They will be again on equal ground.
Yeah,
And they're going straight for Bleed the 5th.
Yeah, this was one of those picks, except for Zero, that I would expect them to pick. They also have potential in Obligatory, but it's also super risky because it requires so much stamina that I don't think United States has enough of in order to secure, because Brazil, even if they're showing signs of inconsistencies, they're still extremely strong physically. But this is one of those maps that's pretty varied in patterning. We got lots of different stream patterning and such, makes it pretty techy sometimes. Difficult to coordinate at least. And it's also very, very speedy and drains a lot of stamina. And
It does drain a lot of stamina. I think that's my main concern here. Like we said, Brazil was looking a little bit inconsistent, and Lil Witch is looking like he's playing out of his mind. So perhaps this is the point. This is the turning point for Brazil, for like the United States rather. I could definitely see Lotus here struggling a little bit, or out of consistency alone, really. But Nate is also playing a game out of his mind. Light had some chokes earlier on, but he is the speed specialist, the speed demon of Brazil. So we'll see if the US can actually pull ahead on this. I don't dislike this pick. I think it's probably the best they had, other than maybe Zero. So we have to see map starting just now, and it seems like the US is very slightly on the lead based on Light's accuracy drop at the very early stage.
But still, everyone is doing really well. Lotus with a 99.92, which is insane on a pick like this.
Very fast patterns here, and it seems like the Brazilians are on the lead again on accuracy alone off the back of Lotus here, really.
But yeah, anything can change though, because as you said, this map is really stamina draining, which means that you just falter a bit in stamina, you're going to get misses. And not only that, the misses will not be clean, which means that the score advantage suddenly shifts. If it is on the team that is in the lead, that is. Otherwise, it just means the lead shrinks even more.
Superman holding a little bit of an accuracy drop. Sorry to interrupt you there, but this is getting very intense. This lead is very minuscule, and the Brazilians are taking it so far, but this is the stamina. This is the point where the stamina is going to start to kick in, and Silly Fang is dropping a little bit of accuracy, so is Light here, and the Brazilians are starting to fall ever so slightly, and the US is starting to climb a little bit. Little Richie a bit behind, but Great Warrior putting up the work, and there's the first miss.
How did the first miss? It's the first miss.
Oh, Superman trades it! Oh, that's a bad trade. That's a very bad trade. He got a lot of accuracy drop as well.
Yeah, that is a big accuracy drop. That's so unfortunate.
Oh, he just needed to hold for so long. Like, only a couple more notes and he had it. But now this one Lotus drops again! Right before the combo cap on one of the burst transitions!
Actually...
Is that enough? I don't think it is enough. That was such a minor break, and the accuracy from Stupid Man is not getting any better. As much as I think they don't have enough time really here. It comes down to the wire, and Lotus hits the combo cap. No misses at the end. United States losing their own pick once more, as they are defeated by the Brazilians here. 1-200 by Light, 2 by Silly Fanger, and a V1 double S by Great Warrior. After all, the effort. Those misses from Superman at the end being the bit that Brazil needed to come back into this. And they are again on the lead with match point. But what a score there by Great Warrior. That's a score and a half, 94k.
Yeah, it just rests on the third player. If the third player can perform as well as the other two players on the United States, they have potential. But yeah,
unfortunately, potential cannot win World Cups. You need to do that. You need to capitalize those advantages you had. Those two players were doing what they needed. And Superman played really well too. It's just that it's just so short of taking it 5,000 points too. And at this point, Brazil's going for Black Ray, and I don't like this pick either. I think this gives the United States another chance. I was expecting Bizcracked instead, maybe even Lubider. But Black Ray of all the picks, I'm not so sure. Brazil trying to nail this tournament on their own. They're trying to take it all. They need to just win a single more map, and they have 2 more picks at the very least. They win this, they take the tournament. Otherwise, the US has to pick, and then they get another chance. So we will have to see. US now on the verge of elimination. The tournament on the verge of conclusion. Can the United States pull out probably one of the craziest upsets in the world if they can take this match somehow?
Yeah, that would be crazy, but we have seen teams before having there was one. I'm reminded of one match where one of the opposing teams was up like 6 points and the other was up 3. I think it was. Who was it again? Malaysia versus Vietnam, was it? I don't remember. Or United Kingdom versus Vietnam, actually. I think it was United Kingdom versus Vietnam.
On this map, you said?
No, not this map. It was like that previous match. One of the teams was up 6 points, but the other was...
Oh yeah, that was the UK versus Vietnam. Yeah, that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was not Black Ray though, the map that started the comeback, but he was definitely in the situation.
So it could happen, but they really have to perform a magic trick here. I have to
Come on. I am a big fan of the Brazilians. I know them personally. I like them a lot. They are very good. But please, we can see a purple palace ending here. And I hope we see that. I really do believe that the United States has what it takes to take this point and extend this matchup as much as they can. Nobody is skipping. They are taking their time. And here we go. Potentially the last map of the tournament. It is Black Ray, Amaron, Lotus, and Silly Fanger looking to put an end to this once and for all. But Greek Warrior, Rich, and Superman trying their best to deny that chance. We'll see what happens.
Interesting that Toph isn't playing his own map.
Yeah, that's very interesting. That you're right.
I guess he's taking a bit of a breather or something.
Oh, he has not been playing many maps though. He only played the SBs.
Yeah.
Not even the longest.
Maybe it's just struggling that much on the difficulty, which really...
Yep. I think so too. I think the maps are getting a bit too hard for him to consistently hit good scores on them. But might as well just try to go for the sharpshooter that he is. In this kind of matchup, you need those differences, those difference makers. But at this point, map is very, very close. All members of this lobby are full comboing this, and this accuracy lead in favor of Brazil ever so slightly. Again, Stupid Man being behind compared to everybody else, but not so much compared to Amaron, which is the main competitor. See who wins this.
And Great Warrior actually missing. Not trading with Lotus.
Oh my god. Why are these misses traded all the time? Both teams miss in the exact same spots every single time. Yes, it's gonna hit the combo cap earlier though, so maybe they have enough time?
It could be. It seems like Great Warrior's miss was... I'm not sure, but... might have been slightly unclean, and the Lotus miss was more cleaner.
I think they were both pretty similar here, but there's another miss by Lotus on the transition, on the easier transition. US is on the lead. Hello, are we seeing this for real? There's only a third map remaining. US just needs to hold on.
This is almost reaching the end. This map
Problem
is
with
really
the mini jacks, they're very easy to choke. Will the United States be able to hold through this? If they can, there's only a third map remaining. And they can extend this. Lotus with another miss.
Lotus getting another miss. Another miss.
Oh my goodness, US is now in a huge lead, but they can miss anytime. These longers are easy to column block too. There's no miss whatsoever, only Lotus. I think the one who struggles a little bit with this. And reaching Greek Warrior pulling ahead, Superman accuracy climbing as well. And Silly Fanger, the MVP of the Brazilians, falls as well. Oh, Superman drops down. Do they have enough time here? They need to hold this man as long as they can. I don't think it's enough either. But the map is not over. There's only the jacks at the end, and they're reaching out.
This is gonna
get to the wire. I don't know if was thinking this. Oh my god, the wire! Oh, that's it. This is on the lead. Greek Warrior drops again. No, this is the end. This is the end. Brazil take this. Brazil takes it. What was that map? What was that map? I do not believe. On the end, everything happened. Everything flew from one side to the other. Misses every single one of the players other than Amaron. But after all, it doesn't matter. It is Brazil once again who takes the tournament. I've never been this high in pitch as today. Like, that was my highest pitch stream I ever done because it merits it. What we just seen is not something we will see very often, if ever again. Brazil 7-3 will win the tournament against the United States. And what a match. What an end for this tournament.
Yeah. My heart is beating like really fast. It's like I just ran for miles and miles and didn't stop. That's how intense that last map was. It looked like the United States could prolong the match just by the slightest, but Brazil took it at the very last section.
I'm trying to hold it to like all together because that was insane. Like US was on the lead, they drop, Brazil takes back, they drop again, it goes back and forth, and it doesn't stop, and it's 5,000 points at the end. There were many maps that were decided by so little. Yet Brazil again proving why they are the team that went through the winners bracket. They take it again and they win the entire thing. This time US coming a little bit closer, but not quite close enough. We're gonna see a showcase for the tiebreaker though between the two teams. I think it's only fair to give this song some
one final
more
round.
showcase.
Yeah, but what a better way to end on that note. It really had to rest on that final moment, the Black Ray. That's like, I can't ask for a better ending myself unless it was of course all the way to a tiebreaker situation and a similar situation happens at the tiebreaker. Now that would be something for the ages. This was one hell of a showing, and I'm so proud of the United States for performing so well, and I'm also so proud of Brazil for defending their position as the #1 team in the world for Mania 4K. So big round of applause for the Brazilian team taking another #1 place in the MWC. And now we're getting into Purple Palace. We'll see.
Oh my god, I needed to drink something. I'm sorry I was a bit quiet, but that end just shocked me in all possible ways.
I drink too. I'm running out of... It's going to be really hard to talk after all of that happened. Not only did we talk for an hour earlier about various things regarding MWC, but we also had to witness that. I need a drink too. I'll be right back.
My goodness. Oof. Well, I mean, Brazil, once again, the champions, deservedly so. They honestly should have, in my opinion, been the champions for 3 years in a row already. They got that hiccup on the South Korean Grand Final after the bracket reset and the tiebreaker. But they are definitely deserver of this title once again. And to close this match with a tiebreaker showcase like this, I mean, this is like the song you play on the credits. It really does feel like that.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting to look at the tiebreaker one final time.
Yep.
And
I think it's fair to stop a little bit before we get into the match. Of course, to congratulate the Brazilians for taking the title once again, and of course the United States for taking a very well-deserved second place, alongside Malaysia to complete the podium, and every team that played in this tournament really. I hope you enjoyed the tournament as much as we did commentate it. Of course, I'll take this moment as well to thank the map selectors who put an insane amount of work into these maps, the play testers, the replay makers, the custom mappers, the organizers, all the commentators, referees, every single person here. Of course, big shout out to the new organizers too, Leo and Chile, both doing insanely well jobs here. And I would just name a few. I would just name everybody. I will take my time for it, but we just don't really have that time. We'll go straight to the credits here with Purple Palace. I hope you all enjoyed the tournament. We have to see.
I'd like to give shout outs to Mango for getting us this amazing song, and big shout outs to Sarah, Silent Room, and Billy Amato for the amazing music. So thank you guys again. It's been a pleasure. This MWC has been really amazing, I think.
It really was. I think this was one of the most intense ones we had in a while. After maybe the South Korea-Brazil Grand Final, we had a pretty intense and very insane matches all over the place. The finals featured a couple tiebreakers, which of course I'm gonna take the time as well to thank the 3 artists that collaborated for this song. You guys are amazing. This, in my opinion, by far the best song that has ever been produced for tiebreakers, like for custom tiebreakers. Like music-wise, is being the best by far, in my opinion.
Yep.
I'm not trying to disregard the others, of course, but it's just I love the song so much.
Yeah, I think that's only fair. You can, you know, they're still amazing. There's no denying that the others are amazing in their own right. But I think this one does hold a bit of a special place in my heart, certainly. It's just that good. And there's a lot of varying sections. I might also be able to mention who did what. I think this is the first 50 seconds, which was Silent Room versus Sarah and Billy Amato. And I think we're past that point, which it's now Billy Amato versus Sarah and Silent Room. And I think after this point we'll be seeing only Billy Amato. Billy Amato pretty much carried the entire creation process of this. So yeah, big shout outs to him again. And not to say that the other guys didn't do like as much, because they certainly did. Silent Room did all the mastering and the final mix, and Sarah of course did also the artwork. So they've put in so much effort into this. So I'm just really glad to see it come into fruition, right?
I'll also take a little bit of the time as well to thank Puffbug and the mod team for the Twitch chat, definitely making this place a lot more peaceful, a lot more enjoyable, a lot more friendly to everyone that stands around and wants to hang out and have a great time, because that's something I think doesn't get recognized as often. And as much as I again took the time to gratefully thank everybody involved in this tournament, at this point we just have to watch and hear and listen. This last bit of Purple Palace we're gonna get probably for the last time in the stream, but maybe on some transition screens, maybe in the future we'll see it. But this is definitely the last time we're gonna see this map on stream. Nate is just casually 4-to-1 final combo, right? Like he's just 99.57. Hello, Nate. I know you had a miss of the early beginning, and that kind of just kills the full combo. But what is wrong with you, man? Of course, I never said, but thank you, Tross. You're amazing for being the operator. And thank you, Acer, as well, for being the operator eventually, and all the organizers.
Big shoutouts to Frost and also to Chillier for putting up with the streams in his absence. He was traveling, I think, or something. I don't remember. But yeah, I think we're just going to be a bit quiet and
Nate.
let the music play.
Nate, my man, friend, man, Nate. I know you're good. I know you're really good. I saw you in person play. You're amazing. Please, don't stop, Nate. The lands are hard, Nate. No.
What are you
Nate.
doing? You can't do this. You can't do this. Are you human?
Nate's just flexing on us. He even got the truth right. He didn't drop accuracy there at all.
Yeah, I don't even flinch.
Nate's just winning the tournament by himself. It's like the new generation of Wonder. Nate Rich is also doing really well. Don't get me wrong. 99.35. This is crazy. He got like a couple misses only, but I'm just can't help it. I'm just watching Nate.
Yeah, he's an attraction. You're really attracted to see him play. That's probably why he's the biggest Mania streamer currently. Well done, Silly. I think you're amazing.
You all go to his stream chat if he gets this run and say, what is wrong with you, Nate? Come on. He's streaming right now, I know for a fact.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Nate, you didn't have to power out that hard. This is not for the point. You already won the tournament.
There's one final stream section where you might miss. We'll see. And it doesn't even flinch.
His accuracy is going up, of all things.
Okay, this is the stream part I'm talking about. I think
Okay, he has to miss here. No, he's not. He's just getting higher accuracy. Okay, that's 200. Let's go. 200.
I just want that judgment.
Okay, he's dropping a little bit now. Bro.
It's not a miss. It's not missing. It's not missing. And it's almost hit. It's 8,000 combo. What are you doing?
Nate! You gotta miss early and you're gonna full combo the rest? Are you kidding me? What? I know I'm not allowed to swear on the stream, but what? 980, 3,000 points and he's still going. What?
Don't say swears.
If he misses on the last note in purpose, I'm gonna go to Brazil and punch him in the face. Okay, he get it.
Oh my. Okay.
He got a miss early though. That's the most important. Like the most shocking part is he actually missed at the intro. What? 3,200 as well from Lil Richie. That's insane too. What?
That is an insane score.
8,400
actually
combo.
990k.
8,400 combo.
What the Okay, yeah. And with that, it's going to spell the very end of the Oceania 4K World Cup 2021. And congratulations again to Brazil. And big shout outs to absolutely everyone involved. The playtesters, the map pools, the commentators, the referees, the streamers, the coordinators, the organizers. Mango, you're your own special category. Just thank you so much. It's been a journey and a pleasure to be here and say a last final hurrah for the Oceania 4K World Cup, and we'll see you next year. And if you're into 7K, I might mention that we are looking forwards to getting a return to 7K this January, early this 2022. So look out for that. If you're into 7K, it might...
Well, we have some tentative dates that we can even throw here, right? The 16th of December might be just a starting point for the registration, so you better be around for that. There's going to be qualifiers too, so it is actually happening.
It's happening. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your parents, tell your grandchildren.
That would be weird if you're watching a no stream and you have a grandchild, unless you are watching it with your grandchild, it probably would be a bit weird. I don't judge, it might be very well the case. But regardless, that has been it for the Oceania 4K World Cup 2021. It has been a pleasure for me to commentate it, to participate in everything that I could help. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to play, but that's okay. I didn't really sign up for it anyway, so it's not that it mattered. And of course, I'll say again, for the last time today, congratulations to the Brazilians, to Amaron, Sillyfanger, Lothus, Light, Lemarcino, and Len for winning the Oceania World Cup 4K edition 2021. And of course, to the other two teams, United States and Malaysia, taking the podium. Lil Richie, Top Daddy, Grip Warrior, Bani Yani, Superman, and Mashu providing an insane grand final alongside of Chiwi, X-Apple, Nioche, Leon, Watarakisa, and Creolian for providing great performances as well in the third place, and every single other player that participated. I hope to see you all next year too for more action. Not sure if Davy has anything else to mention.
No, not really. I just want to mention a big round of applause for all the players, especially Brazil. Big round of applause. Clap your hands. Do it.
I cannot clap my hands because I have to call the bush to talk, but I will definitely do it otherwise.
Yeah, I'm mentioning it to the chat. You all have to clap your hands, okay?
3, 2, 1. Let's go! But oh well. We had enough maniacs. We have enough key smashing. We had a lot of columns to be hit accurately on time. But this is not it. Osu still remains, because the Osu World Cup registrations are already up and running until the 30th of September, And that is the tournament that will conclude this series, that will conclude the year of awesome World Cups. And it's only a couple weeks off. So you better go sign up if you can, if you want, and not stay tuned for it. Qualifier showcase and the start of the tournament would be on the 9th of October. There's only just a few weeks until then. I hope you enjoyed, though, the 4Key Mania World Cup 2021. I hope you see the 2022 edition if you happen to still be around. And yeah, that's it for me. It's been a pleasure as always, and I hope to see you all, as again said, next year.
See you again next year, or even earlier than that.
can feel the evolution. All my time no longer frozen. So maybe all the all. I don't know who I will become, but I know what I want more than